Hello, and welcome to Water Additives Training. This will be the introduction to water additives, giving you a basic understanding of the water additives market, some of the areas you can call on, and really who our customers are. This one is entitled Water Cycle and Our Path to Market. If you recall from your earlier days, you understand what the water cycle is. We have rain that falls from the sky, lands on the earth, and then through evaporation back up to the clouds, and from the clouds again falling to the earth as rain. This is what is known as the water cycle. On the Earth's surface, 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. However, only 2% of that water is fresh water, and of that 2%, 98% is tied up in ice and groundwater. The takeaway from this simply is water is scarce, and it's a resource we need to take great care of. If we look at the water that we have available to us, it comes in four forms: rivers, lakes, oceans, and wells. Rivers, lakes, and oceans are known as surface water. They are on top of the earth and easily gotten to. Well water is known as groundwater. It is below the earth's surface. Each of these has an opportunity and has challenges that brings to the water market. In the case of rivers, we see great variations in turbidity and chemistry. Think of after a rainstorm how dirty a river or a stream can become. So great variations in the river itself and stream. In lakes, there are some variations in chemistry and turbidity, but remember, it's a larger body of water, so therefore it'll take a little more for the solids or the chemistry to change in a lake. Oceans are even larger. You have some variation in chemistry and turbidity, but with the oceans you also have to consider brackish water and salt water. And lastly, well waters. There's very little variation in chemistry and turbidity. However, over time we can see changes, and we can also see variations in various geographies throughout the earth. Another interesting area is in the area of Florida, the coastal areas of Florida. We are starting to see saltwater impingement on many of the freshwater wells. So the wells can change over time. At Brenntag, we have two ways to get to the market. We call them our path to market. We have the industrial path, and we have the municipal path. And each of these brings opportunities for Brenntag. In the case of the municipal market, usually it's driven by bids, can be price sensitive. Many of the large manufacturers will go direct to their accounts. There are a variety of commodity opportunities. Oftentimes we have to do what are called pre-qualification tests. In other words, show that our products will work before they are allowed to be placed on a bid. But there are still many, many value opportunities in the municipal market. On the industrial market, we will have several paths available to us, and we'll go through that in this presentation. It's not as price sensitive. Many customers now are in need of a distributor, as are many manufacturers looking for distributors to get their products to market. What this means to you and to Brenntag is we can offer the best from every supplier, not just from one, nor just what we make. And likewise, there are very many opportunities for value-added products. So if we look through the water cycle in the industrial, we have influent water. Through some kind of a process or an operation, the water becomes contaminated, must be cleaned, and then put back into the environment. Also in the industrial area, we're starting to see water reuse, where water is being put back into the plant or into some kind of a process. This is a relatively new situation that we're seeing in the industrial market. Brenntag has a variety of products that we bring to the table to control any problems that the industrial market would have, ranging from biological problems to waste treatment, to sludge dewatering, corrosion, scale, or pretreatment, and also a variety of commodity chemicals. If we look at the municipal market, we have influent coming into the municipal water plant where it's treated, then through a distribution system to homes and to businesses, from there to a municipal sewage treatment plant, and from there back into the environment. Likewise here, Brenntag has a variety of chemistries that we can offer to the municipal market. Wastewater, foam control, corrosion, and commodity chemicals are just some of the products that we bring to the table for the municipal market. We have a brochure called the Water Additives North America Product List. And this can be obtained from your Water Additives manager. And it's an excellent list showing many of the products that we bring to the table and can help you to guide your customer on what their potential needs are. Some of the highlights of this are liquid solid separation polymers. This means coagulants and flocculants, whether inorganic or organic. We have products for heavy metals removal. We bring carbon for organic removals. And we have defoamers and anti-foam for foam control. We bring phosphonates and phosphates, anti-scalants, corrosion inhibitors, biocides, and cleaners for membranes. Some of the new technologies on the market, the membrane, reverse osmosis membranes. We have swimming pool chemicals, filtration media, resins, pH adjusters, odor control, nutrient blends, and a variety of permanganates available to our customers. Likewise, we also have many of the commodities that many of your customers will need in a variety of different packages available, whatever your customer needs from Brenntag. Again, this is called the North American Water Additives Product List and is available from your Water Additives Manager. Highly recommend getting this to help you guide your customer through the offerings that Brenntag has for the water market. Let's talk about some of our products. We have products we call products in formulations. These are things like the phosphonates, the phosphates, the dispersants, the anti-scalants, and corrosion inhibitors. And these are put into customers into blends and put together so that a water treater can make a blend that can combat many of the problems that they are faced with water, whether it being deposits, scale, or corrosion. So we have products that go into formulations. Some can be used on their own, but many of these are used in formulations. We also have what we call ready-to-use products. In other words, they are not needed in formulations and are typically used directly in a drum, or directly from the drum. This will go into municipal applications or in industrial applications, things like food, beverages, power, or metals. It should be noted, though, with our flocculants, they must be made down with water prior to being used. Although directly out of the drum, they must be made down or allowed to uncoil before they can be used in a marketplace. So if we look at the industrial path to market, we have what are called water treatment service providers. And these are companies that provide a service to their customers. They can be large, medium, or small. We have what are called toll blenders. And what toll blenders are people that make the formulated products for water treatment companies. And lastly, we have what are called end-use customers. And we'll go through each of these individually. So we look at the small and medium water treatment companies. And on the right-hand side are a number of companies that Brenntag currently has business with. They sell service. Although they sell chemicals, they really sell their service. They go in and they check the corrosion rates. They check the scale rates. They check to make sure the chemicals are correct in the boiler, correct in the cooling tower, and make sure the correct dosage rates are going into the polymers in the wastewater treatment plant. They'll manage the water programs. They range from very small to very large. They can treat some or all of the plant systems. They may or may not blend their own product, depending on their size. They typically will tend to be regional in scope. Here they'll be very experienced. Many of these have come from the larger water treatment companies, having a number of years' experience in the water treatment industry. Owner is typically usually the final decision maker. They are always interested in any new offerings that you can bring to the table. These are all typically entrepreneurs, and they like to be on the cutting edge of new technologies. They have a need for all of Brenntag offerings, specialty products and also commodities. They are currently having problems getting smaller package sizes and smaller package amounts from some of the larger manufacturers. And this is where Brenntag really brings our abilities to the table. Many are members of what's called the AWT, or the Association of Water Technologies. And I'd highly encourage you to visit the AWT website, www.awt.org, to find potential members of the AWT water treatment companies in your area. There are also what are called large water treatment companies, companies like GE, Chemtreat, and Ecolabs. Likewise, they sell service too. They're on site to make sure they manage the water properly. They offer full and on-site service. Typically, these will tend to be national or international in scope and presence. They can treat all the plant operation, even outside water. And here a good example is Ecolabs, where they'll work and clean and sell products for cleaners or applications at the same time, along with the water treatment chemistries. These guys will typically blend their own products. They have a very large experience range. There's multi-layers to the sales. Oftentimes purchasing, sales, and technical can be involved in decision making. Their R&D usually is focused on new ideas, but they are still interested in hearing any new ideas that Brenntag has. And oftentimes they will need our commodity chemicals. Now we move to another segment of the market we call toll blenders. And again, on the right, we see many of the companies that we are currently doing business with. What a toll blender does is they formulate products. If you recall back in an earlier slide where we talked about the formulated products, these are the companies that actually manufacture, taking many of the components we offer to make a formulated product. They can blend what they call standard products. A company like Scranton or Qualichem may have their own line of cooling water and boiler treatment products. Or they can blend custom formulations. One of their customers may come to them and say, hey, I need this product in such a manner, and they can make it for them. They'll need standard and unique products. They may have the ability to what's called substitute. In other words, they may have a product called XYZ, but ABC may be the exact same chemistry, and they can substitute ABC for XYZ. Typically have a very close relationship with AWT members. They will also need commodity products. And they may touch many industries, not just water. They may be in the food industry. They may be in the paints and coating industries. They may be in the cleaner industries. Likewise, they're having problems getting smaller package quantities. And then lastly, the end-use customers. They usually will currently have a water treatment supplier or suppliers. They may have someone for their boiler cooling and a different company for their wastewater. Again, they may have 3 different companies in this case, something for process, for boiler cooling, and also wastewater, or a variety of different setups within the company. They may need to have products purchased separately, their commodities purchased separately. And the water treatment company may also need commodity chemicals. When I was in the field in the steel industry, I was buying my chlorine from Brenntag. It was a product that we did not offer, but I needed it very much needed it for use in my cooling system to control biological activity. They may need service. If we look at the municipal market and the path to the municipal market, municipal market is primarily done through what's called a bidding process. You'll see a document, something that will say City of Greensburg, County of Westmoreland, Town of Hufftown. We like to use a bid locator, and what that does, it'll state all the bids that are coming up in your area or region, so you can get ahead of the game and look where potential opportunities may be. Always look for caustic opportunities. Look for any successes that your rock has previously had. If there are polymers like polymers, coagulants, or flocculants, they must be clearly identified. Likewise, other opportunities like corrosion inhibitors, anti-scalants, and defoamers also must be clearly identified. Well, you ask, who should we call on? Well, in small water treatment companies, we like to call on the owner and potentially a purchasing agent. In the medium water treatment companies, we'll have the same purchasing agent, the owner, and potentially a sales manager may get involved with making decisions. In the large water treatment companies, we always see the purchasing agents or purchasing managers. We might see a product manager involved. We may see technical and R&D involved. And again, sales managers may be involved in making the decision on which product to use. In the case of blenders, owners, purchasing agents, there you might see a chemist or a formulator and also a blender's customer. You may reach out to a customer and ask, who are you using as a blender, and then go back and call on that blender. End-use customers will see purchasing agents or buyers. You may see and need the environmental manager, a utilities manager, a production manager, or a wastewater manager. In municipals, we always look for a bid locator and also the plant manager. Speak with them, find out when potentially the bid may be coming due. So to review, we've talked about the water cycle today. We've talked about the industrial and municipal water cycle. We've talked about the Brenntag water additives products. We've talked about ready-to-use products and formulated products. We've talked about the industrial path to market, the municipal path to market, and who should you call on. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Kevin Cope, and there are my contact numbers there for you. Again, thank you for your time. Have a good day.